How's it going, guys? My name's Ed, and in this video I'm going to be working on my 2JZ block. I'm going to be breaking that down and having some fun today. But before we get started with that, let's go ahead and jump inside here and take care of a few things, and then we'll come back out here and get started. All right, so right now all I want to do is take a quick second to give some shout outs here and acknowledge a couple of people that have been real strong supporters of the channel. So first person I want to acknowledge right now is Mikkel Reed over at Mikkelism. Hey bro, thanks again, man. He reached out to me a couple weeks ago and he sent me a couple items in the mail, and I am very humble and very appreciative of these items. Guys, I'm gonna keep all his information in the details below, so make sure you guys subscribe to his channel and follow him on Instagram. He's actually got a pretty cool looking SC300 and he's in the middle of doing some more work to it, so you guys are not gonna wanna miss that. Also, he sent me some Tsunami beard cream, so thank you, Cameron, for hooking it up. As you guys know, my beard game is it's not as strong as it should be. I've tried this out already and I actually think this is a really cool item, and I'm starting to notice a difference already. So thank you again for sending me this. And yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna return the favor. I'm gonna send him something in the mail soon. I don't know, maybe it'd be tomorrow, next week, next month, I don't know. I'm gonna get you back though, so thank you. Another person I wanna give a quick shout out to is the Perito Racing team. They are always here helping, and I am part of the team. So I always keep their information in the details below. So supporting them is supporting me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and jump back into the garage and get started with this build. Here it is. This is a 2JZ GE block, and it came out of my 95 SC300. I put a table in the engine bay. Small table, fits perfectly. But anyways, this block has about 240,000 miles, and I am going to be adding a little turbo to it. So we're going to be going NAT. Now, as it sits right now, it's leaking oil all over the place. I kind of talked briefly about like all of the maintenance that needs to be done to this block. So when I was changing out, not changing, but when I was draining the coolant from the block, I noticed something a little bit odd. Kind of looked a little milkshakey towards the end while the coolant was draining off, so I kind of got a little nervous, and that's what prompted me to do a compression test. Compression came back fine, so I was a little bit puzzled, but I figured better to be safe than sorry and just go ahead and replace the head gasket anyways. So right now we have to do a couple of things. First, we have to pull the harness out of the way. You got the harness all over the place here. Kind of see it right here. Goes in there. So we're going to take care of all that. We're going to pull the intake manifold off. We're going to remove the distributor, the Dizzy. We have the timing belt. It's already set to top dead center, but we're going to pull that off. You got the water pump here that's bolted to the head. We're going to pull that off. Just whatever's in the way, we're going to take it off. So as far as the intake manifold, you got a couple bolts on the bottom. Just kind of go carefully. It's not too bad, especially when the engine's out. You know, you just kind of unbolt everything and, you know, go from there. So now that the upper intake manifold is off, I am going to remove the lower intake manifold. And to do that, you have 6 nuts and bolts. So they're kind of staggered. So you see that one's on the top. Then the next one's going to be kind of on the bottom. Sorry for the lighting. Then top, bottom, they're kind of staggered. So you just kind of have to use your swivel. They're all 12s, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm going to remove this with the fuel rail still attached to it. So you just want to carefully unbolt everything, make sure nothing's connected. I went ahead and I already removed the harness. The harness is in the engine bay, resting. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. But yeah, when I'm done with this, we'll come back and move on to the next piece. All right, so I got the intake manifold off. As you can see with the fuel rail, everything's sitting there on the floor. I think I misspoke earlier. I said there was like 6 bolts. There are 6 bolts, but there are also 2 nuts. I didn't specify that, so a total of 6 bolts and 2 nuts. Just want to correct myself. And yeah, you can kind of see how dirty it is in there. I'm not too concerned about all of that because when I send this head off to get resurfaced, they're going to clean all of that up for me. But yeah, look, that's not too bad for 240,000 miles. When I had an E90 N54, that had 60,000 miles, and that thing was terrible. That's why I got a walnut blaster. Anyways, I got to clean this intake manifold up. I'm probably going to do this later down the road. If you guys want to see me make a video on how I clean this up, just leave a comment. That and the trans, that's gonna take me a while to clean up because there's so much oil caked up on there. Anyways, next we're gonna remove the timing belt cover, the tensioner, the distributor, and I'm gonna unbolt the water neck here in the back there. All right, so I did everything I said I was gonna do, but I also took it a step further by removing the timing belt. And how I did this, if you're a little curious, is you see that's the tensioner here. On the bottom, you have 2 bolts. I just basically loosen the bolts to the point where I can pull the timing belt off. So I got the water bypass valve. I think that's what it's called. I broke that free, so that's loose. And I went ahead and I removed all of the nuts and bolts that are on top of the valve cover. I did it for both of them. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and try to pull this valve cover off carefully, and I am going to record myself doing this. So this way you guys can see how I do it carefully without breaking these, because sometimes you can break these by over tightening them or by prying harder than you're supposed to. All right, so I got the valve cover off, and what I did is I used my, this is a very little thin pry tool that I have. It's not really focusing. There it goes. And what I did is I went in between the bottom of the gasket, and I just used my mallet and just kind of gave it a few little taps. I have a very light mallet. Sounds like a maracas. Anyways, moving on. Just take your time, go through all the sides, try not to break anything, and it'll come off. Now, up next, I'm gonna remove these. These are the cam gears, and I actually had somebody reach out to me recently on Instagram, and they told me that I think they said the exhaust one came off really easy for them, but the intake one didn't. So they were asking me questions on how to pull that off, and I've never had any issues with this, so I hope that nobody used any Loctite when they pulled these off to replace the cam seals. I guess we'll find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap a wrench on the cam to hold it in place, and I'm going to break that free. It's tough. Oh, man. Alright, so I got the cam gears off, as you can see, and I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I ended up using an impact because I had to be impactful when I was removing it. I wanted to do it by hand, but the engine stand here is a little too wobbly for my liking. In a perfect world, I'd have somebody here kind of holding that down while I break that free, or I'd hold it down while they break it free, but whatever, no biggie, I got it off. Now on to the fun stuff. So here, this is very important, okay? If you haven't done this before, it's not difficult, you just gotta take your time, and there is a special way to do this. According to the service manual, which you can see here, there's a particular order. So I'm gonna remove these end caps first, these cap bearings, sorry. I'm gonna remove these cap bearings first, and then starting from here, this is the order. It's 1, 2. Okay, you want to break them free slowly, just maybe like a quarter turn. 1, 2. You want to come down here, second to last. 3, 4. Then jump up here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you want to make several passes until the cam is basically out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera down and film myself removing the first cam, and then I'll take the second cam off camera. And then I'll jump back on when it's time to remove the cylinder. All right, so I got the cams off, and we're really close to pulling the head off, but I ran into a little stumbling block. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So, looking at the head, everything's off, ready to come out, and you see these little head screws? I don't have the socket for that, and I just realized I don't have it. This, you need a, well, Toyota calls this a 10 millimeter bi-hexagon wrench, and I don't have that. So what I'm gonna do is, right now it's about 8:30 or so at night. My boy Nilo is working at a shop. I'm gonna go head over there quickly and see if he can save the day so I can pull this head off. And yeah, so when I jump back on, we'll probably be at this shop, and we'll see how this goes. Here it is. Thank you, Nilo. Saving the day.
Yeah, man.
Coming through.
Hope it all works out.
We'll try it out. We'll try it out. You see? I'm gonna jump back to the house and we'll finish pulling the head off. All right, so we're back at the garage. I'm about to go ahead and pull this head off. And similar to the cams, there's a special way to do this, a special order. So I'm gonna put the order on the screen here so you guys can kind of take a look at that. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pull this head off slowly. So I'm gonna set the camera down and record myself doing that. All right, so as you can see, I finally got the head pulled off. So let me give you guys a quick close-up of the block. So far, I am liking what I am seeing. Get some light here. So yeah, not bad. Everything looks pretty good for 240,000 miles. I cannot complain. The cylinder walls look pretty good from what I can see. You know, at least 2 through 5 look pretty good to me. I'll inspect 1 and 6 later on, but I don't think there's going to be any issues there. Top of the pistons are filthy. They have a lot of carbon buildup, but that's expected. So I'm going to clean those up, figure out the best way to do that. And the head gasket, I was just kind of going through this head gasket because my concern was that maybe that it had a little leak somewhere with the coolant side or something. I don't know. But maybe it was all in my head. I don't know. Maybe I was just paranoid for no reason. But I think overall, this is the right step in the right direction, replacing all of this. You know, one less thing I have to worry about. And yeah, I can't complain. As far as next steps, I have the head down here on the floor, just chilling. I'm gonna drop this off at the machine shop, hopefully tomorrow. And then I still have to pull the rest of this off, the timing cover and the crank pulley, the water pump, the oil pan. What else? We got to clean this block up. I mean, there is so much left, but it's all going to be coming together really soon. So I'm really excited. Once I get to you know, put everything back together, this is going to finally go back where it belongs. And yeah, it'll be NAT real soon. If you guys like the video so far, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comment below. And please subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.